So I spent pretty much most of 2023 being the stay in your lane guy and the long game guy. And right here, I'm violating both of those. And I can't freaking wait to do it. Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome back to Disavowed Action Figures, bringing you another action figure review, taking a closer look at the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Chun-Li and Ryu figures. I am pumped to have these cards on the table. I've had them for quite a while now, probably going on 2 months. I just didn't know how or when I wanted to open them. I was going to open them on a live stream. I considered opening them up on the Infinity Equation podcast, which we do on Friday nights on YouTube. I kicked around just kind of doing like a really brief Instagram unboxing, and I settled on just doing kind of a YouTube unboxing / just really basic review. So these have been out there for a while. My question is this something to be considered figure line of the year? They've only gotten out maybe 4 or 5 figures technically this year, but they have gotten them out to the masses, and I have to tell you, I've heard overwhelmingly good things about these. Cheney from Toy Migos has done a great job covering the Jada Toy Street Fighter figures over on Toy Migos here on YouTube and on Instagram. He recently even had the opportunity, I believe it was LA Comic-Con in California, to show off the next waves that are upcoming with various other deluxe size figures. So really, I honestly think Toy Migos kind of really turned me on to these back at SDCC, seeing their content. So thank you to them for their great content here on YouTube. Also, thank you to Cheney and Jurassic Jesse for having a nice conversation with me when we were at Legions Con 2023. Check that out here on the channel. But enough talking. Honestly, I'm not going to so much review these as I am going to unbox them, look at them, move them around a little bit, which I guess is technically a review. But I'm not the biggest Street Fighter fan, so I don't want to sit here and try to talk about things I don't know too much about, other than just to share my excitement to unbox these figures with you here on the channel, and basically finally get these out of the box and kind of get them on a shelf. If you haven't seen my channel before, when I do reviews, I typically show off the box artwork. We crack it open, we move it around a little bit, which we will do here, just probably not getting as specific as I typically do with other action figure reviews. But yeah, very pumped to have Chun-Li here in the collection. Again, the box artwork is amazing. We have the power, energy going on right there. We have the artwork on the side, which looks phenomenal. The first 3 figures here in the wave. And actually, technically, they're not all figures in the wave. There are other characters or figures that will be coming out in the future. But you can see we do get a ton of accessories in this box. I love just that video game looking arcade cabinet look to it. It's amazing. The cross-sell is awesome, as we're getting a lot of these next year in 2024. So let's get Chun-Li out of the packaging. As much as it just kills me to rip all this out of here because it looks so great and it's presented so well. Let's get all of it out on the stand and we take a look at it right away. So one thing I definitely didn't realize is that the packaging is definitely unique in that the plastic shell, the window, is basically attached to the box itself. So when you do pop that out, it completely comes out of the cardboard itself. Because I was going to try to keep this intact. I still might use this basically as a display piece, but just something different I thought I'd point out that I didn't know. So quick look here at the inside artwork, and that looks really freaking cool as a battle background from Street Fighter. Yeah, they're pulling me in. Cheney, you were right. It's pulling me in. And if you are somebody who does like to keep your packaging, it is collector friendly, where you can pop that window right back in there, no problem. The tab pops right at the top again. So if you are a box collector as well as a figure collector, you can do it. It pops right back in there, no problem. And here is Chun-Li out of the packaging, and it looks awesome. It looks awesome. It felt great in my hand coming out of the packaging. I did move it around a little bit, as I tend to do before I actually get into a review or an unboxing. Unfortunately, my left foot was a little bit frozen, so I took some heat to it. It loosened up a little bit, but just being honest, I'm not going to mess with this foot too much on camera because it is actually articulating right now, but it still seems kind of stiff. I don't know if there's an issue there or not. So until I mess around with it a little bit more, I don't want to take a chance on breaking this awesome action figure. So basically, you can see we do get the kicking effect. We get the alternate set of hands, and we do get the alternate head, and we also do get a stand. Now, I don't think the stand does anything necessarily for Chun-Li. If it does, let me know in the comments. I know some of the other characters and figures do come with blast effects, which I believe are meant to go with the stand. I don't know if maybe the stand's meant to incorporate into using her leg when the kicking effect is on there. But either way, I always appreciate having more plastic in some packaging. So this looks great. Let's move it around a little bit, and then we'll get right to Ryu. Then we'll do the same thing with him, and we'll do some comparisons. Because again, I'm not going to dig too deep with these because I just don't have that much of a background with them, but I just freaking love how they look. It definitely makes me think back to playing the arcade game. So before getting to articulation, let's take a closer look here at the actual figure. The head sculpt is really freaking cool. I do like the paintwork that is done here on the outfit. We have a nice set of boots going on. We got the laces going down the side. I also do like how we do get these, what do you call them, these spiked wristlets going on here around her wrist. As far as the back is concerned, again, I do like the material, nice texture work going on here on the shoulders as well. I don't know if that comes across on camera or not, but it's textured nicely. You do get the soft plastic. This also has a bit of a texture to it as well. But that's nice and soft. That will obviously move well, will not hinder articulation at all. You do have the white band going around the waist right here. So again, this looks really freaking cool. We will look at the other head sculpt a little bit later on. And for the sake of timing and not forgetting, here's the other head sculpt. I do like this. The hair seems to be pretty much the same. However, you get that screaming head sculpt, which is definitely the one I'll be keeping on this figure moving forward. So in terms of articulation, this thing is smooth. It really is. Again, thank you to Cheney, who was out at Legions Con 2023 hanging out with us. He did have one with him in hand. He let me kind of mess around with his a little bit, and the freaking articulation you get out of this thing is nuts. I mean, look at that, the height of that kick. I'll probably balance it later on. Again, look how far out your splits are going to go with Chun-Li. But as far as more typical articulation, head will rotate all the way around like so. It will look down about that far. It will look back. Not really not too far at all, unfortunately. There is some tilt there, so the attitude will look good. Arm will rotate all the way around. Shoulder goes about that far out. It gets somewhat encumbered here by the top of the shoulder. We do have our double jointed elbow going on. So that will articulate back. There we go. So good double jointed elbow. Also notice everything is pinless. There are no pins on this figure whatsoever. It does have no upper bicep swivel that I can see right here. Oh, there we go. It does. So we'll rotate again. This is new to me. It will rotate right there. The hand will rotate all the way around. It is on a horizontal hinge. As far as the waist will rotate all the way around. Actually, say here the torso. It does have very good flexibility going on. You can see we get the articulation down here as well. So you're going to get some crazy, crazy articulation here out of this figure in the torso area. It does have upper thigh cut going on right here. It does have double jointed knee that will go all the way back. You can push that skirt up out of the way, obviously. Get that out the way. So double jointed knee about that far back. As far as boot cut, there's also boot cut going on right here. I'm not messing with that foot. This foot is working fine. So again, that far down on the foot, about that far up on the foot, and there are rockers on both of the feet. So articulation on this thing is freaking sweet. And it just feels so smooth when you move it around. It really is pretty friggin' cool. Let's open up Ryu, do the same thing with him, and then do some comparisons. Quick look at the background that does come with Ryu. Again, just a very cool artistic rendering of video game background artwork. And here is Ryu out of the packaging. And again, decent amount of accessories. We do get alternate set of hands, which are the Hadouken hands, right? We do get the fireball effect with a little set of hands inside, which looks really friggin' cool. And we do get the alternate head sculpt. So this is a really neat effect. I like how they put the hands inside for the fireball. Hopefully that translates on camera well enough for you to see. We also get the extra additional little base that comes with that. So yeah, this is really pretty freaking cool. I'm digging the other head sculpt. So I like that we have like a static head sculpt for each one and then more like a battle head sculpt for each one. And again, if I get something wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm not the biggest Street Fighter guy, but these figures are just sucking me in because they're so friggin' cool. And again, I'm the stay in your lane guy and, you know, don't explore figure lines, buy what you like. But damn, man, these are really cool looking. Looking forward to kind of messing around with these a little bit more and kind of seeing what they can do off camera. Up close look of Ryu, and again, looks really freaking cool. I like the pads on the hands, the wraps, the gloves, whatever you want to call them. I like that we have this wrist action going on here. They go along with the gloves. The gi came out looking cool. We do have this going on right here, whatever the hell that means. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Again, nice texture to the gi and to the actual leg and body itself. I like the headband on here, obviously. That looks really freaking cool. So yeah, this looks really nice. And I believe this also comes apart. So yeah, so let's get this off and see what it looks like with all this off. I just wanted to show you how this does pop off. This just has a small hole here on the belt, which will come off. Again, soft plastic. And then there is a notch right here that's attached to the gi, which then this is really soft as well. That'll just come right off, and let's take it off of them. And then here's Ryu with the gi off completely. And again, that also looks really good. They did a decent job. It's not as if you need it on. And honestly, it's very easy to take off. I'm assuming it's easy to put back on as well. But this is a great time to do articulation because we can actually get through all the parts. All right, so articulation for Ryu. It's like a neck joint going on here, and also you have the head. So with the neck and the head, it can look down very far. It can look back a little bit, not a whole lot. It will rotate all the way around. And with that neck, you get some crazy freaking attitude. You know I love that on my action figures. Shoulders will rotate all the way around. They are on a butterfly joint. It does come across relatively far. That kind of gives you an idea right there. And it will go back relatively far as well, which looks pretty good. There is an upper bicep cut, which is actually really smooth right there. Double jointed pinless elbow, which again, I did have to heat these up, which again, I don't think is exactly something that's rare when it comes to action figures nowadays. But I did heat up both of my elbows to get the double jointed elbow to work appropriately. Again, no pins on me. It's nice to see no pins right there. The hand will rotate all the way around. It is on a horizontal hinge, left and right. You do get some rotation here at the waist. It will look down with the neck and the head and the torso about that far. It will go back about that far right there. Not much to the left and the right. I don't want to force it, but I feel like there's not a lot of left and right. It will rotate here also at this section as well. It will kick forward about that far. It will kick back about that far. Upper thigh cut, double jointed pinless knee, which I also heated up just to be safe. Looks pretty good right there. Foot will go down about that far. Foot will go up very far as well. And it's also on a rocker. Splits very far out. Holy smokes. We got Frank Duke's action going on from Bloodsport here with our splits. So again, you can really get some crazy kicking going on with these. Check that out. I mean, right there, that's freaking impressive with what you get out of that. Closer look out of the back if you were curious, just since I have the gi off now. And you can kind of get a better idea, too, how far those butterfly shoulder joints are going to go back. And I'm impressed. This is really freaking cool for being a figure, I should say a toy line, not really well known for making action figures at all, from what I'm aware. They really are doing a great job with these Street Fighter figures. All right, so looking at how these figures do scale, first of all, with each other, you can see that Ryu is significantly taller than Chun-Li, which I believe would be accurate to the video game. And again, these alternate head sculpts are freaking cool. I like the static head sculpt concept. I think a lot of times with figures, we only get one head sculpt, or if we do get two of them, it's not extreme enough of a difference in their facial features. Here we basically get two battle faces. We also get the two static, which look really freaking cool. So let's see how they scale with other figure lines. So as these are fighter figures, I already thought of wrestling for some reason. So here is an Adam called WWE Elite by Mattel, standing along with the Britt Baker Dr. D MD AEW Unmatched Series 1, I believe, figure with Ryu and Chun-Li. And you can see the wrestling figures are significantly taller than both of these video game characters. And since we covered some wrestling and some fighting figures, here are some more video game characters to compare to Ryu and Chun-Li. Here are the Mario Brothers from the Mario Brothers movie, Jazzware's Mario and Luigi figures. Obviously different scaling lines here, but just trying to have some fun comparing them. And in terms of how they scale with some other 6-inch figure lines, here from Hasbro, we have the Shipwreck G.I. Joe Classified, as well as the Marvel Legends Daredevil from the Man Without Fear 3-pack from Hasbro Pulse. And again, you can see that Daredevil's not that much taller, really, than Ryu. I think that can kind of work if you want to kind of do like a ninja kind of display with Ryu and Daredevil kind of kicking some butt. And Chun-Li, even, being on the smaller side, does not scale that small as some other 6-inch figures from Hasbro. For some outside-the-box comparisons, here is Feral Cheetah from the Plunderlings and the NECA Ultimate Elf figure from 2023, standing with Street Fighter figures. And again, I think they can kind of mix and match on your shelf. If you want to have a Street Fighter shelf, if you want to have a shelf of just random cool-looking figures, I think these all kind of go well, and they're fun. Toys are meant to be fun, right? Backing things up a little bit here and changing the angle to fit this big bad mother fragger on camera. Here are Ryu and Chun-Li from Jada Toys as compared to the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Lobo. And last, and as everybody loves to say, certainly not least, here are the Jada Toy Street Fighters 2 Ryu and Chun-Li as compared to the Orange Cassidy AEW Jazzwares Unrivaled action figure. Yeah, I know Orange Cassidy likes to play some video games from time to time, so who knows? Maybe these guys just popped through a portal and decided to go fight some ninjas downtown. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for tonight. This is me being out of my lane. This was me stepping out of my lane. When I do reviews, it's usually Marvel Legends or some G.I. Joe Classifieds. This is something very different for me to kind of crack into these sorts of figures. Shout out to Jada Toys, killing it, stepping out of the shadows with a figure line. These are really friggin' cool. I'm pretty sure I'm on board to buy more of these in the future. And again, this is me being out of my lane. This is me being out of my comfort zone. These aren't really something I would typically review, and I know pretty much everybody who wants them probably already has them, unless they're trying to find them at Target, even though now that's getting more stocked than it was before. So again, I don't expect a lot of people to see this, but if you're somebody who follows the channel and watches my reviews and content regularly, hopefully you enjoyed this. It helps you decide whether or not these are figures you might want to pick up in the future for your collection. So thanks again for watching, everybody. If you are new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you, it does not cost you anything, and helps us grow the channel tremendously in the march to 6,000 subscribers. While you're at it, go ahead and click that bell for notifications, because that way YouTube will notify you and tell you when we post new content here at the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and for daily toy content and daily toy updates, try checking us out over at Instagram and Twitter at Disavowed_12. Hey everybody, if you're going toy hunting this week, please try to remember the 3 P's at the toy hunt: patience, persistence, but most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.